Hello Fly Nation and welcome to the Freestyle Your Life podcast, the one and only podcast inspiring you to live your authentic greatness while teaching you that less is more. I'm your host, Ernesto Kalle Zimmermann, and I'm on my mission to help you to be the hero you were meant to be and to live what you came for in life and in business. Remember, the quest we came here for is to discover our true nature, explore our potential and share it by living. Welcome to today's episode number 40 on the Freestyle Your Life podcast, when Dawn Schary, a stand-up comedian performing all over the world, shares insights about how to live funny and prosper. She hosts the Live Funny and Prosper series, where you can learn how to infuse your life with more happiness, joy and laughter. As you know, just by subscribing to the Fly podcast and referring 3 friends who might also profit from the tips the experts shared, you qualify for the I Love to Fly podcast giveaway. You can win amazing prizes like Dawn, who is gifting us today with free access to her series Live Funny and Prosper. So make sure you're subscribed and ready to win. Let's dive right into the interview with Dawn now. Have fun with it. So let me introduce you today, my dear listeners of the Fly Nation. I have Dawn Schary with me. She's actually in Albuquerque in New Mexico, and she is in the comedian business. So I think that is just fun. And she will explain us about that. She performed all over the world and let us know how this all goes. And she has a series of comedian called Live Funny and Prosper. And thank you for gifting us with the free access to that. For the Fly Nation, they can win prizes, and you gifted us with that. So thanks a lot for that. And well, just tell us something of the great comedian work you're doing there.
Oh gosh. Well, just I guess to give you a little bit of background on me, I
have it, but just mention it short for the listeners, please.
Oh, okay. So I've been doing comedy now for it started in 2010, so 9 years. I can't believe it's been that long.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And I started because I felt like I didn't really have an outlet to appropriately express myself in a way that was, I guess, my safe space, like allowed to say things. And I've found that having, if you don't have an outlet, then it's going to leak out other places.
Right.
And so this was really, I'd been a music student for a long time. And when I was no longer doing music, I'd always been interested in comedy. And so as a way to really address some of the more difficult subjects in life, and maybe what people don't necessarily want to talk about. And so I found that to be a way to just ease it in and to communicate things when people aren't least expecting it. I guess that seems to be the easiest way. Sort of like, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So that's really what got me into it. So out of necessity, and then just a desire to break boundaries and talk about things that we totally can talk about. It's just culturally not always acceptable. And so that's why I started in comedy. The Live Funny and Prosper Summit that I've been doing is an interview show that really looks at happiness from a variety of angles. Stand-up comedy can address happiness, but I find that a lot of comics are actually pretty depressed, and it's an irony there. And so I wanted to look at happiness from, a physiological standpoint, and then, your atmosphere, the area around you, the people around you, and then things that you tell yourself, so that way you're bringing that joy from the inside out versus just putting on things that might make you smile or make other people smile, but don't really have the depth behind it. So yeah, just
totally relate. Yes.
Yeah, looking at happiness and joy in all different areas. Because if we're approaching it physiologically, if we're approaching it from a standpoint of what you tell yourself, of different things that you can think about, and not just like jokes to tell to maybe avoid your life, but to bring happiness from inside of you, it's so much easier to spread it to the world, and then they come back to you with happiness, and then it's a good cycle and not a vicious cycle.
And it gets rolling. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Because what fascinated me about it is, I think, and studies show that, right? So more and more people all over the world are burned out and depressed, right? And yeah, that's really a epidemic thing already.
Yes.
And not too many people are living on the happy side of life. So they have whatever reason, from work, from relationship, from doing a job they don't like, from playing roles, whatever, could be everything. And I love your approach on that, right?
Yeah, because the media is divisive for the most part. There are some shows that aren't, but the majority of the media aims to polarize people, especially here in the US right now. It's just getting crazy. And if we were to rely on media as our means of communication and reaching out to people, again, one of the great ironies by having a lot of social media and people very open to share on social media, when it comes to actually looking each other in the eyes, having conversations with real people get closed. So there's this sort of false idea of connection. And in actuality, bringing it back to our real village roots of connecting with people one-on-one, we find that there is a lot more that we share in common. We're a lot less apt to be angry with one another when we're looking at each other, when we're communicating with our neighbors. And that makes us feel more connected to our community, and it makes us feel less divided. Because really, when you think about it, grandma and grandpa probably had different political views and different values than I did, yet that didn't stop me from loving them, and that didn't stop us from having a full relationship. And when people lead with differences, and that's what the media and what social media prefers that we do, then we start putting up walls, and then we transfer those walls into the real world. And so really I felt like I needed to, as somebody who participates in the media, and that's kind of my job, I felt like I really needed to not just not divide, but be proactive at uniting people. Because we need it desperately, and we need to be reminded that most people are still good, and most people want all the same things, and we have way more in common than we have as differences. And when we do have differences, what a great opportunity to get to understand each other. And so when we approach it from understanding and curiosity and a desire to know each other, as opposed to trying to convert each other, it's just so much better. Like that. If nothing else, the Live Funny and Prosper Summit has connected me with a lot of people that just reminded me of all this stuff I already knew. But the more we get in our little insular bubbles and just have the media tell us what is real, we're going to be disappointed and depressed.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, what's been happening. And we
Yeah.
just really have to combat it.
Yeah, totally relate, Dawn. I'm feeling almost the same, and I would even call it media is mostly about manipulating, right? And yeah, it's 99%. It's bloody or bad negative stories, right?
Right.
There's nearly nothing what turned out great or whatever they bring on, but it's just on and on and on and on going negative news and other people's stuff and agenda. And I did stop that long ago because I don't want to influence my soul and myself with all the bloody things. If I can change something, yes, I will change it. If I don't have no influence on it, because it's somewhere in the world, right? So what Trump is doing there, I'm sorry, I don't have no real influence on it. So I don't want to hear it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Example just, and I think that's that it's very manipulative.
Manipulative.
Manipulative, yes, exactly. Sometimes I just don't get the word out. But my listeners already know that, so I hope that is kind of funny to them too. But I think it is really like that, and the more and more media consume we have, like on social media, leads to people being isolated, especially in big cities, right? So I'm living in a small city here. I know my neighbors around on the other side here. But if you're in Frankfurt or Chicago, wherever, big cities, nobody knows each other, not even on the same floor, right?
It's truly amazing. Yeah. Again,
so people think they connect with so-called friends on the internet, right? They don't know them, right? And everybody is putting on the hat to be cool and show up like whatever. But it's a joke. It's illusion, right? There's no real connection, exactly as you just mentioned, and we end up in isolation. That's really what I think. There's no compassion and no real let's go for a beer or whatever, right? But people,
well,
especially in big countries, they are in front of their screen and their TV all evening, chatting with friends, but they are isolated. They don't see nobody, no outside, no nothing.
Yeah. And again, it appears that there's no compassion, but actually it is right under the surface. And so once it only takes a couple seconds to look up an elevator or while you're in line or, in a place where you're not taking up any more time, people are going to be waiting no matter what to engage. And I guarantee we're not that cold yet. And the compassion is there. People just need to be reminded that it's safe, that the person that I don't know, the stranger next to me, is safe, and just like me. And so when we approach each other with empathy and with like an understanding of like we're in this together, whether it be a line that's taking a long time or we're in the elevator or we're waiting, we're walking, we're at a crosswalk. It doesn't take very long. And that's why dogs and babies, I mean, they really assist us in starting conversations. Sometimes people need it. But the compassion is still there. And I think that is what I've learned in doing this interview series, is that it hasn't gone anywhere, and it's still within us. And if anything, all this compassion, that's what like leads to the depression, because then we feel alone. If we didn't have compassion, we wouldn't feel alone. So we would just be fine with ourselves, by myself, not reaching out to anybody. And so that, I think, to like, and what each of your listeners can do when feeling that way is go, see, I am somebody who needs that connection, because I'm starting to feel down right now. So rather than feel alone, I feel this is like just merely, it's like a little hunger pain, letting me know, I'm a human and I need to eat. So that like starting of the depressed feeling, starting of the alone feeling is, I'm a human and I need to interact. And so
that's
get out and use social media to connect you with real people, and do a meetup, and or organize a little group of friends getting together, and or just a couple of friends, or just one friend. Gosh, that's all you need. A lot of my friends do live in cities across the world, or some other place that is nowhere near Albuquerque, and so we'll do like, okay, we're going to have coffee, or we're going to have a beer together, and we're not together, but we're together. Like, we're together right now. I'm looking at you. So we can have a drink together. We can stay connected, and then bring in other friends and make it organic again. But to recognize that the beginnings of depression, the feelings of loneliness, is just like a hunger pang. Just reminds me I got to go out and eat. It doesn't mean I need to continue to starve myself and I'm never going to get food again. It's, if anything, it's a reassurance that me and everybody else still have hearts. We're still ticking, and we can still have that closeness.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for bringing that up. So, we are on the same belief here, right? So, social media is great, but just having friends on social media is not the goal, right?
Right. To have an interaction, or maybe it is just like how you and I just met, but that we're having real conversations and there's real honesty and authenticity there. So, I can have an hour-long conversation with somebody who's my friend, who I've known for years, and they ask me how I'm doing, and I'm not honest at all. Sorry, I'm just plugging in my computer here. So if we don't have like a real conversation, then I still feel alone. So again, it's not just having a physical interaction, but really being authentic and who I am. And if I'm feeling down, or if I'm having relationship problems, that I can feel like I can go to somebody and bring that trust and true connection back in. Because if it's just superficial, it'll help a little bit, but it'll just be superficial. So you want to get in there, And I think bringing it back to comedy, there's a lot of truth in comedy, especially today, when there's so many things that we need to address and talk about. And so, the more true our conversation is, then the closer we'll ultimately feel by the end of it. So it does require bringing in that authenticity, bringing in that truth. And, I used to, I equate this to dancing a lot. So back in college, I was so, embarrassed all the time, just to dance or to, I don't know, it's very awkward. And I have this friend, she's beautiful, and we would go to punk and ska shows together, and she'd be dancing like a maniac. And what I noticed was that other people started dancing because she was dancing and she didn't care at all what she looked like. And then other people were starting to do the same thing. And so, don't wait on somebody else. And what's the risk in being honest, and what's the risk in like sharing your heart and sharing what's really going on? Your friends want to be there for you. And just, yeah, being as real as possible. That's something that I've been doing lately. You know, I had this random Lyft driver, and I was just totally just balls out honest with him, and he wanted more. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let me get on Facebook. You know, tell me when you're doing comedy in San Diego, and I'll be there. So it's, people really want to hear what you really are thinking and what you really have to say and what's really going on. People want that authenticity more than anything now, because we feel that distance and we feel that fakeness. So yeah, it's actually, it's easier in a way because it's uncommon now. You know?
Thanks so much for bringing that up. You know, my topic here is to freestyle yourself, to get free from all the mask and all the fake stuff there, and playing the fool and living somebody else's life, to really restyle and reinvent yourself and just show up authentic. Well, there might be somebody who doesn't like it, but like that, there might be also somebody who doesn't like it, right? So if you show up authentic, you show yourself to be true, right? And whoever wants to connect and is on the same frequency will, and maybe some will won't. Yeah, that's normal. But it's also the same when playing the fake game, right?
Yeah. Like you know, to be honest, this morning, I left my makeup in the house. And so I didn't get to put it on before I did this interview, you know, because I got caught up at the bank and I didn't have time, you know, and I could have been like, oh my gosh, and freak out and not put my makeup on, or put my makeup on and be in a hurry or a tizzy. But this is my reality. This is my face. You know what I mean? And so there's some of your listeners that probably never wear makeup, and they're like, awesome, you know, feminist power. She's not wearing makeup. She's not letting the man tell her how she needs to be, and fuck beauty and all that. And then you're going to get some people like, oh my gosh, she's so unprepared. She didn't take this seriously. She's not wearing makeup. How, you know, how could I, and then if I wore makeup, I would have gotten the flip side of it, you know? So, so really, does it matter? You know, you're going to piss people off anyway. You might as well just be you. And then because of social media, and I'm certainly not, you know, dogging the internet at all, or we wouldn't even be together right now, is that we're, by being authentic, we actually are covering a broader audience, and then we're able to pull in the people who resonate with us, because we have such a broader audience that we're reaching. So, you know, I'm not gonna feel alone when I'm myself, because cool people are gonna be attracted to me who dig my style or my lack of style or whatever, you know? And so not having fear, and really, or maybe you have the fear, but you push through it anyway, and then it just becomes courage. So, you know, really just getting out there and not being afraid, and not buying the lies that we're more different than we are alike. And through our similarities, we're able to find common ground in our differences. And oh my gosh, maybe we'll change our ways of thinking. How scary.
Yeah, but sure. So being scared of turning into authentic life, or being scared of not wearing makeup today, this is bloody bullshit, right? Sorry for that. But
feel better. At the end of it all, you'll feel better after being yourself.
Just be yourself. That's all that's asked for, right? What connected me with you, because we don't know each other personally, but as I just tune into my interview partners and feeling, and well, it showed that you could be a fit for the podcast, with exactly showing up like you are.
Yeah.
Nothing more is needed here, because this is the authentic talk, and I want to have authentic people, right? Living what they preach, and makeup doesn't make any difference, right?
Yeah.
For the
It
internet,
can.
right?
I mean, I would have felt better had I been wearing
Now,
makeup.
come on, forget
Like,
about
whatever.
it.
You know, it's like, what's more important? You know, what's more important is that I show up
Yeah.
and I'm myself. Myself today is no makeup. And
Pretty
and
good with me. That's no problem. And the podcast listeners will not even know, because they don't
they
see
won't
you.
even know. Yeah. Maybe you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah. No
But
problem.
yeah, just be authentic. Don't give a fuck. You know, do it. And can I say that? Yeah, do it. I mean, do it.
You
Just
can say everything.
be out there. Yeah, that. And you know, the sad thing about that, I had to do comedy to do that, is like, so many other places people get offended by the littlest things, and there's no permission. There's no permission to be crazy. And so at least on stage, there's social permission to be crazy, or to say something outlandish, to make a point, to say something, in hyperbole or dramatically, to land, to hit something, to penetrate, because that's what it's about, is making an impact, making a difference in people's lives. Whether we say it or not, we all want to make a difference. We all want to make an impact. We all want to feel heard. We all want to be remembered after we die. We want to make an impact. So whatever your thing is, that's the direction that you have to go, and that's your gift. That's your dharma, however you want to say it. Like, only you can do you, and if you're not doing you, if you're doing some fake version of somebody to fit in with some, Kardashian cutout lookalike, then you're not even fulfilling why you're here. You're not even living your purpose. So that's just
and nobody else can do it.
Right.
I cannot be Dawn. Just you can be Dawn.
Right. How long is this? I didn't know, is this a half an hour? Is this an hour?
Yeah, half an hour.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect timing. Yeah.
Around half an hour. Yeah. No, really, I have the topic to, and I really believe mankind needs to be authentic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look around, all the problems we face here, worldwide, with all the migration, the wars, the environmental problems we have there. We have so many problems. Going on like that, like we did before, will make it worse. And I'm a believer of we have a real responsibility to leave this paradise not as a dump, but to leave it as paradise to our children and grandchildren. And what I see and find is just we are living like there is no tomorrow, right? We just throw everything away. I just read a study. Near future, we have more plastic waste than fishes in the ocean. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, and when the more that you display your own care, then you run into other people who care about the earth just as much as you do.
Yeah.
And then you're reminded that this isn't hopeless. This isn't over.
Not at all.
There are thousands, there are millions of people out there who are making an effort, and really tremendous people that are doing amazing things for our environment. And the more exposure that we have to those people, then the more the hope is raised, and then the incentive to keep going happens, and then the momentum picks up, and then pretty soon more people are caring than not caring, and it doesn't feel so
Yeah, it
helpless.
just has
I'm
to,
hopeless.
the minority then gets a massive impulse, right? So
Mm-hmm.
speaking from just from the plastic waste, there is a non-profit called the Ocean Cleanup, and
Mm-hmm.
they have developed machines and everything to get the plastic out of the oceans, and I just admire what they do. It's a great job, and we support them here. And well, there are so many people, right, doing good things. And
Yeah.
well, on the other side, others just throw it away, right? So in my
Right. There's a lot of
neighborhood, I
ignorance out
was
there
here
too.
with friends, and we picked up the plastic and the trash and wine bottles, whatever the people throw in the field, right? So every day I walk there with my dog, and yeah, it's a pity people behave like that, but as the minority caring for things, right? The others just
Mhm.
don't care,
Yeah, you're gonna get that.
right?
There's always people that don't really see the significance. There's a lot of people that are ignorant, especially in other countries where recycling isn't taught. I was pretty horrified in Malaysia and Indonesia. Such beautiful, beautiful natural resources,
Yeah,
and where tourism is one of their major
yeah.
like exports, imports.
And
Yeah, they're
yeah,
major, and they're no understanding of
yeah,
why it's not a good idea just to launch this Coke bottle into the ocean.
yeah,
And so education is a big part of it too. And the
yeah,
little ones are getting educated, which is adorable.
yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah.
just carrying it on to the next generations is so key too. That's why I'm a huge proponent of education. I used to teach kindergarten and I love it. I love teaching the babies.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, of course. That's a good point you mentioned there, because when I was in Venezuela, and it's lovely there, right? But um, not that much the tourists. I think we have more on the whole population, right? We have
Mhm.
more insights on that. But the local people coming onto the beach for the weekend to party, they just throw the coke behind them.
Yeah. It was like
And after they left on
unbelievable.
Sunday, the beach was packed with waves.
Yeah. And a lot of
Only
that is
waves. Nobody
not
took any.
understanding. Yeah,
No.
like not understanding your own significance. That was one thing that my mom, God bless her for teaching me that she would say when people didn't RSVP to a party, a lot of times it was because they didn't know that their presence made a difference. And so when people leave their trash behind them, that their presence made a difference. And you can
Hmm.
make a positive difference, you can make a negative difference. But if
Yes.
you know that you're going to make an impact everywhere you go, then you become more cognizant and more
Yeah.
careful. If you
Yeah.
feel like you're not a significant person, then you don't really care what you leave in your wake. And
Yeah.
so that personal importance that each person has, if we could teach kids that everybody is significant everywhere they go, no matter what they do,
Yeah.
then they will be more careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we really need to bring that up. Not only that would be a good media topic, right? But not only negative things things there. We really yeah, the kids are the future, right? It starts in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So once we teach them, they are each and everybody of them. They are worthy, and they are significant, and they each of them makes an impact, right? That's
Right.
the future of all of us, of the country, of the universe, the young kids, right?
Yeah, this idea that one person doesn't make a difference is such a fraud. It's so not true. And how much of a difference you make, that's up to you. But even if you don't even try, you're going to make a difference. Positive or negative, you're going to make a difference.
Yeah.
So just reminding people that when you leave your trash behind, what a difference you're making. Is that the kind of difference you want to make?
Yeah.
You know?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Love it. I love it. We are nearly at the end, Dawn. So is there something we didn't cover and you wanted to share, or did we cover everything?
Well, I feel like I've done quite a bit of preaching this morning. I encourage people to go to www.livefunnyandprosper.com, all one word. You can sign up for my summit. It's still going. And then at the end, I'm going to replay all of the interviews, and there's a lot of comedians there. There's a lot of happiness experts and people that are really making a positive difference in this world and making their impact to help people for the better. So I definitely
Till when?
Go there. If I could tell people anything, that
Till when? Till when is it going?
It's going through April 5th or April 6th. And I believe it's April 6th or April 7th. April 7th? I should check. I think it's April 7th is the last day for all the interviews. But we're going to have for another 3 days all of the interviews. So I have 26 interviews. They'll all be available to watch for 3 days after the 7th. So it's really still going on until April 10th. So I definitely encourage people to sign up there, and I'll be doing more things too, of course. Probably make it a long-term podcast, but right now it's just a little chunk of time there. So they want to watch.
That's brilliant, and I will mention everything about the program and everything in the show notes.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. Well, that was wonderful, clear and on the point.
Yay!
I love that. Yeah, but going around and around and around, why not name it, right? Just name whatever the case is. That's all. Just simple and easy.
Wonderful. And how can I listen to your podcast? What is it on iTunes?
The launch began today.
Oh,
and
cool.
I would love if you would share it, Dawn.
Yeah.
I will send you the link later on, right?
Wonderful. That sounds great.
And we keep in contact.
Okay, awesome. Right? And how do you pronounce your name?
Ernestikala.
Ernestikala.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ernestikala. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yeah, and have fun with the summit and all the best.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Bye-bye. Big hug.
Thanks for listening in. I hope you got new inspiration to seek help and surrender to love no matter what situation you're in. Hopefully you could take away that transformation is possible. By getting the right support, you can embrace life joyfully and enjoy your life on your own authentic terms. Please rate and review the Freestyle Your Life podcast on freestyle-your-life.com/podcast if you like today's talk, and make sure you qualify for the amazing I Love the Fly podcast giveaway by subscribing and referring 3 friends to the Freestyle Your Life podcast. All experts and myself are happy to assist and support you. Just reach out to us. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to tune in next Thursday and listen in to your next inspiration on how to freestyle your life. You'll learn another priceless shortcut on how to break free and restyle your life on your own authentic terms. Becoming authentically you will ease your life and business. Remember, Fly Nation, break free and fly. Looking forward to talk to you next Thursday. Bye.